Hello, my name is Mike Janulitis, and I'm the founder of Cornable Software. This is part 2 of a 3-part video set in which I will show you how to monitor IIS logs and get notified when there is a 500 error. In part 1, I showed you how to save IIS log entries to a SQL Server database with table columns for each field. In part 3, I will show you how to generate a daily report of HTTP 404 and 500 errors. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get notified as soon as part 3 becomes available. This tutorial assumes you have already read and watched part 1 of this tutorial set. To get notified of a specific event, we need to first create a filter that targets the log entries of interest. The easiest way to create our filter is to view the consolidated log entries, find an entry we want to be notified about, then create a filter that is based off of the entry. From the Explorer view, expand Hosts, then navigate to the target host, expand, find your W3C file consolidation template, then expand. Here you will find the current file being monitored. Right-click on the file, then select View. The Select Log Viewer Options dialog displays. Since we want to view a large number of entries so we can find a target entry, let's select to display 1,000 entries per page. Then click OK. The Consolidated Text Log Viewer displays. From the Log Viewer, find the SC-Status column, then drag to the Group By header. The viewer groups all the entries by the status code. Find a 500 error, right-click, then select Filter Selected Entries. The Filter Selected Entries dialog displays. From the Filter Selected Entries dialog, deselect the Include the message in the filter, then specify a name, such as IIS 500 errors, then click OK. The filter is created, then the Text Log Filter Properties view displays. From the Text Log Filter Properties view, delete all of the filter criteria except for the SC-Status row. Notice the criteria is in a group. Since we only have one criteria, we can remove the group. First, we need to move the criteria out of the group, then delete the group. To move the criteria out of the group, select the criteria, then click the Up button. To delete the group, select the group, then click the Delete button. Finally, click Save to save your changes. To verify the filter is working as expected, go back to the Log Viewer. Then from the Filter drop-down, select the IIS 500 Errors filter. Verify the viewer only displays the entries of interest. Now that we have a working IIS log entry filter, let's assign the filter to the Log Consolidation template. Back in the Explorer view, right-click on the W3C file consolidation template, then select Template Properties. The Template Properties view displays. From the Template Properties view, select the Monitor tab. The Monitor tab includes several file monitors, including file size, change in size, and idle file monitors. You can optionally set any or all of these if necessary. I personally use the change in size option to track PCI compliance scans and phishing and DOS attacks. From the Rules control, click the Add button. A new filter criteria line item is created. Use the Rule drop-down to select the desired rules. The default setting triggers assigned actions when any entries are found. The Frequency option enables you to suppress actions until a number of entries are found, for example, 100 entries. Then finally, the Proximity option enables you to scan for patterns, for example, started and stopped messages. Since our goal is to get notified when 500 errors are encountered, use the default setting. Use the filter drop-down to select the IIS 500 errors filter we previously created. Use the state drop-down to select the trigger level. Since we're monitoring 500 errors, which are internal server errors, select critical. Use the actions drop-down to select the action to trigger. To select multiple actions, add each action individually. Use the trigger limiter to limit the number of triggered actions run within a time period. This option is typically used to limit the number of email notifications received throughout the day. Use the previous entries column to include the previous X number of entries in the triggered actions. Use the next entries column to include the next X number of entries in the triggered actions. Click Save to save your changes. Now, let's test our monitor. From the Explorer view, right-click on the template under your website host, then select Explore. The monitor status view displays. Next, open up a browser and trigger your website to throw a 500 error. If you're unable to create 500 errors on demand, modify your filter to look for 404 not found errors, then navigate to a bogus page on your website to trigger the 404 error. Expect to see Server Manager trigger the monitor and send an email within 1 minute. If you're impatient and don't want to wait, you can select the Execute Now function. The monitor status view shows the trigger. If you want to limit the columns returned in the email notification, you can instead create a W3C log monitor. Then, after defining the columns, simply disable the columns which you would like to exclude from the email notification. To show you this in action, I paused the video and created an IIS log file monitor. Here's what it looks like. If I select the Columns tab, we can see all of the columns just like we created for the IIS log consolidation template. Deselect each enabled checkbox to remove the column from the email. Click Save to save your changes. Now, if I generate the error again, our email only includes the columns of interest. That's part 2 of IIS log monitoring, consolidation, and reporting with Corner Bowl Server Manager 2022.